Welcome back. We've had a nice setup here where we now have a profile icon and we can sign out or view profile. Well, or at least we can click on it, but there's no view profile functionality. We can sign out, but when I click view profile, nothing happens. Now, what we're gonna try and do is when we click view profile, I think it would be nice if we had a modal that pops up. And this modal allows us to change our name, maybe change other fields in our profile, and have it update accordingly. Maybe have our name updated right in here. So let's do that. Let's build a component that creates a modal for us. Luckily for us, React came up with a new feature called Create Portal. You see, modals in general in apps are very, very common. And there has been an issue previously where we didn't have portals, and it was a big problem of how to set up modals in a way that works really well with React. Now, with the introduction of portals, this has become really, really easy. And they have really, really nice documentation if you want to read more about it, and really nice code snippets as well. We're going to build our own modal here that it contains the profile so that when we click on the profile page or view profile, we'll actually get this modal. So let's get to working. The first thing I want to do is go back to the index.js file. I'm going to close some of these things just to keep things clean. Okay, now the way modals work is that we want to make sure that we have another React DOM render that is outside of the app. And that's the cool thing about portals. You can have a portal that is completely separate from the app in another React DOM render. So think of it as another React DOM render that can be called, let's say, modal. And by using the React Create Portal, we can actually transfer props in between them, which is really cool. It's kind of like, well, a portal. And that's why it's called portal. So what we want to do is create another HTML element that we can bind the modal component to. Let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to do is go back to my public folder where my index.html file is. And if I scroll down here, we see that we have div ID of root. That is where React is binding and rendering everything. But down here, I want to create a modal portal. And I can say div ID, and we'll call it whatever we want. Let's say modal root. And again, I like this demonstration because it shows how React works and how you can extend the functionality of React. So now we've created another thing that we can bind our modal to. And by using Create Portal, we can just make sure that whatever's in the app, the props pass down to whatever's in the modal root as well. Let's save that and go back to our app.js file. Now in app.js, let's say that we're going to import another component that we haven't created yet, but we will soon. And this is going to be the modal component. And we're going to import it from our components folder. And it's just going to be called modal. Or let's create a modal folder. And I get a bit of an error because, well, we haven't created the modal component yet. All right, let's do that. I'm going to go into components, create a new folder. We'll call it modal. And within the modal folder, I know we're getting a bit repetitive here, but it's fine for now, modal.js. And let's start building out this modal component.